This reel is the introductory lesson on negative numbers. We somehow missed it earlier while presenting the lessons on negative numbers. And here it is. Please read this lesson together with the other lessons on negative numbers. Negative numbers is in itself the 12th lesson in the series. So let us begin this introductory lesson on negative numbers. An 85-year-old conjecture about one of math's most ancient obsessions, the solutions to polynomial equations, was recently settled and attributed to an interesting, somewhat different approach, which was very creative, according to Leila Sloman, writing for Quanta magazine. The extremely abstract nature of mathematics education leaves few to witness the creative genes and muscles of mathematics. As a language of nature, technology, and engineering, mathematics is extensively open to inventive assumptions, entities, operations, and interpretations. Negative numbers are one of the more accessible creative products in mathematics. Irrational numbers, they remain negative largely ignored, and the square received little mathematical recognition a unique until about a couple of centuries ago. All the three have been known for almost as long as negative numbers formally documented mathematics, may have been the last of the three about to gain formal acceptance in mathematics, achieving wide recognition by the middle of the 19th century. There is indeed something very subtle about negative numbers. They are an inherent part of all mathematics and are used as frequently as positive numbers. In fact, negative numbers have a prominent presence in science, technology, engineering, and the world of business and commerce, because they can easily come alive in abstract sense too. This is unlike positive numbers, which by default express physically identifiable quantities. For example, the opposite of profit is loss. The most significant challenge, or to understanding negative numbers, is their sharp profit indistinguishability from or expected state of conducting business. Mathematics textbooks, as profits are essential often for businesses to survive and grow. Subtraction is a binary negative numbers are relative on two numbers exist to give the difference, which may be a new dimensions to something, one of the two original numbers. To cite another example, on the other hand, if we define steps to the left as positive steps, they are used to show the opposite steps to the right, would be considered negative steps. Considered the normal state. Negative numbers are contextual. Observe the idea of negative numbers. The movement manifests every dimension is the sine graph, is a significant foundational concept, and the graph of the horizontal movement is the cosine graph. I wish to cite just one significant example of the idea of negativity that addresses a common mathematical doubt. They have similar behavior, but their peak values are reached at different times. Trigonometry, and in this case, is the perfect domain to discuss the circular motion. In fact, when one is at its peak, significant graphs of trigonometric functions is the sine briefly, and cosine this is graph. Due to how we define positive for effective contrast and comparison. The two are presented on the same graph. To the point, and avoiding technicalities, let it be known that the sine and cosine curves are not inherently out of phase. It is essentially a reflection of the negativeness of the movement to the left, towards the negative side of the x-axis, that places the cosine start at 1 and goes down to -1. On the other hand, the sine curve starts at 0 and goes up the y-axis, thus it starts at 0 and increases to 1 on the graph. Therefore, the important phase gap is due to the sign conventions of the Cartesian plane, the way the two axes are defined as positive and negative. I must admit that some of you will find this example a bit tedious, but to many, this could be a eureka moment in relating to trigonometry and mathematics in general. To reiterate, the key message for all, negative numbers are a creative convention to correctly and effectively manage the extremes of quantities and numbers. No wonder rote-based foundation of the very idea of negative numbers is mathematically hurting, affects the comprehension of all of mathematics. There is little point in preparing a glimpse of a due exploration of negative numbers here and now, and it is left for the lessons ahead. Hopefully this brief introduction has set you up to hit the ground running. Get to the 4-part reels on negative numbers and get smarter, mathematically and in profession. Thank you. With us, you will master all the mathematics you need. Be good to you, not just others.